Wayne Gretzky, Lisa Leslie, Alex Trebek, Joanna Gaines, Elvis Presley, Michelle Wie, Pat Summitt. What do these names have in common? What's similar about them? Well, these people are great. They're some of the best at what they do. They've been known for years to be the greatest in their areas. But why? Says who? Is it money, fame, success, a following, longevity of career? Who says they're great? What makes them great? Today we're going to look at greatness in the kingdom of God. Matthew chapter 18 verses 1 through 5 reads, "At that time the disciples came to Jesus and asked, 'Who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?' He called a little child who he placed among them, and he said, 'Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever takes a humble place, becoming like this child, is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me.'" So we have the disciples, and they're like, "So Jesus, let's be real. Who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" And then Jesus responds, "You see that child over there? Hey, you, come here. This child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." So I'm sure the disciples, they've got to be taken back. I mean, they're asking this because they're thinking, I left my family at home, I left my possessions, I left my house, I left my job, my securities. I followed this man, and he performs miracles, and people get excited, and some people get mad, and he just seems to kind of cause chaos wherever he goes. But for some reason, I'm still here. I'm still following. Surely I'm the greatest. But Jesus shows them a child and says that this child is the greatest. This one that they don't even see the significance of is the greatest. One of the things that's great about children is that they recognize the need for their parent. Let's think about it. From the minute you were born, you knew that you needed food. And you knew that you couldn't provide that for yourself. So automatically, you needed the milk from your mother. Then as time goes on, you grow up and you begin to become a toddler. You begin to walk and maybe talk, and you realize that there's so many things I can't do without parents, without a mom or a dad, a caregiver. I still have dirty diapers that I can't do anything about. I can't feed myself. I get bored very easily. I get grouchy. I can't fix this on my own. I really need my parents. And then the teenage years come. And boy, oh boy, we do not need our parents whatsoever. We begin to see that if we get a job, that in that job, we can make a little bit of money. We can buy our own pizza. We can buy our own video games. We can go where we want to go. But we do need our parent. We just don't want to admit it. There's so many things that parents do for us in our teenage years that just go unseen. We don't even think about it. But we desperately need our parents. This is something in our society that we strive to get over, our need for others. We want to become the greatest. We want to get the money, the power, the respect, and we want to search for greatness amongst our peers. But Christ offers us something different when it comes to greatness. Jesus said, this child is great. This child recognizes its need for others, its need for help, its need that it can't go about life alone, its need to connect. Children also have this neat thing about them, their innocence. They don't know any better. Well, the disciples had exercised a little bit of that. They were strange enough to follow this man who was doing these unseen things, who was performing miracles and changing lives. He was causing crowds to be upset, and he was causing people to be forgiven of sin. They were a little innocent, the disciples were. They didn't know, but they were willing to go. And Christ is offering that to us. He's saying, pick up your innocence. Follow me. Recognize that it's not about storing it up and having a plan. It's not about becoming number one and being praised. But it's about humility. It's about being humble. It's about serving. Because Jesus ends this passage as he says that anyone who welcomes a child like this in my name has welcomed me. That's powerful. As we welcome those that we see as invaluable, as we welcome those that we don't recognize how they can add value to our lives, we are welcoming Christ. We are welcoming wholeness into our lives, where we recognize that we don't have it all and we cannot be great without our brothers and sisters. We cannot be great without recognizing our need for Christ, our need for others. And ultimately, Christ fulfills this definition of greatness by showing us how greatness dies. Christ took on wounds and scars and pain, and he died a somewhat humiliating death on a cross. But yet today, thousands of years later, we proclaim that he is the greatest. There was no nationwide funeral. There was no Medal of Honor. There was a servant who was humble and willing to be used and recognize their need for God. And so we celebrate today the fact that as the world thinks that we should become great, we should be searching for greatness, that Christ offers us something new, something different, something completely opposite of what the world thinks is great. And today we're invited to the greatness of Christ that looks like wounded hands and open side, and to invite others in to that life-giving love and grace, so that truly in the kingdom of God, greatness will look just like Jesus.